Hello and welcome to I Digress, the Silver Crow Media podcast about anything and everything. I'm your host, Benjamin Mark. With me this week to discuss a sweeter superhero in the Marvel canon is the lovely Alex, a regular contributor for Silver Crow Media.
Hello.
How are you doing this week, Alex?
I am excellent.
Wonderful. So, a few weeks ago, you may have heard Alex and I discussing the MCU, a conversation that quickly got derailed when we decided to discuss the minor Marvel superhero Squirrel Girl.
I love her.
And so I'd like to welcome you to the Squirrel Girl Show, a new podcast by Silver Crow Media. No, of course, this is, as I said, it's a I Digress episode that we'd like to discuss Squirrel Girl, because she is very much a forgotten superhero, and we want to pitch our Squirrel Girl movie at the end. So, who is Squirrel Girl? Well, Squirrel Girl first debuted in Marvel Comics in Marvel Superheroes number 8 in winter of 1991, and due as a creation of Will Murray and Steve Ditko, the legendary Marvel writer. She's a mutate, which is a weird thing in the Marvel Comics. It's what they describe. It's the people they describe as having gained their superpowers from an external force. So Cap with the super serum, Fantastic Four with the cosmic radiation. Peter Parker, yeah. So it's people who have mutant-like powers but are not mutants because it's not a genetic thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real explanation for why Doreen Aline Green, I hate that name, aka Squirrel Girl, got her powers, but she discovered them at a young age. Her powers are superhuman agility, senses, and strength. She does have a large prehensile squirrel's tail.
Yay.
Razor-sharp claws, retractable knuckle spikes.
Nice.
I did not know squirrels had them.
Who would have thought?
And also the ability to communicate with squirrels. She's largely based in NYC, but she is from Los Angeles originally, and the kind of reason for her being kind of created was to have a more light-hearted superhero as opposed to the super heavy drama comics of the early 90s.
Yeah.
She does currently have a solo series called the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, though she is part of a larger part of the all new, all different Marvel reboot from a couple years ago, the 2015 reboot.
Mm-hmm.
And she is part of the US Avengers, which is what the new Avengers became in the comics in 2017. She started life as part of the Great Lakes Avengers, which was kind of one of these minor spin-off comics before moving to New York, and was actually a nanny for Luke Cage's daughter. Danielle Cage. And is Jessica Jones her mum in that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she spent a lot of time kind of in the X-Men canon, for a lot of, and kind of teamed up with the Fantastic Four a fair amount. She does have the power to communicate with squirrels.
Which I love.
Which she does utilize to great effect. Her first outing in 1991 was when she ambushed Iron Man in a forest, hoping to impress him and become his sidekick. She was only 15 at the time. She had a pet squirrel called Monkey Joe. She then ends up rescuing Iron Man from Doctor Doom with the help of an army of squirrels. And it's really quite sweet because Iron Man says she's too young to join the Avengers, but he'll put in a good word for her when she's old enough.
Bless.
she spends a lot of time with with the Avengers and the X-Men, and she does register, and she does register in the Superhuman Registration Act as part of the Civil War storyline. And this is revealed when Deadpool tries to arrest her and the Great Lake Avengers, now the Great Lake Champions, for violation of the act, only for her to beat him and inform him that they had already registered as part of the act. Under the act, she remains part of the Great Lakes Mutant Initiative, which swings back and forth between Great Lakes Avengers, Great Lakes Champions, Great Lakes X-Men, depending on kind of the themes of the day.
Yeah.
She spends a fair amount of time with Deadpool during the Civil War stuff. She doesn't get involved in the Civil War stuff. And for people who aren't fans of the comics and have seen the Captain America movie, Civil War in the comics is literally spans every Marvel property.
Yeah.
It's insane. Secret Invasion is what they might do in the Avengers next, but that would involve getting the Skrull introduced and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a Secret War thing. She's in that. She's in all the major. She's in all of the major storylines. She does appear in Spider Island, which is a very are you familiar with Spider Island?
I am not familiar with
Spider Island is a Spider-Man storyline in which the entirety of Manhattan gets Spider-Man powers.
Wow.
Not the existing superheroes, but all the humans get Spider-Man powers.
That sounds amazing.
So at that point, during the Spider Island storyline, Squirrel Girl is working as a nanny for Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, and does have to break the news to her that Danielle Cage has gained spider powers. And she does suffer pain, and loss. She does lose Monkey Joe.
Aww.
She gets a new spider. She gets a new squirrel called Tippy Toe. And she does just utilize waves of squirrels as her main weapon.
I think that's adorable.
It'll be nice for members of our community to hear, but she is a computer science major at college.
She is. At Empire State.
Empire State, which is the fictional kind of NYU college. While at Empire State, she does have a storyline where she fights the fearsome Kraven the Hunter, who is this major kind of weird bestial bad guy who's been lashing out at local squirrels.
Wow.
And she does steal Iron Man's armor at one point.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Because she hears it's when Galactus is coming to destroy the Earth, so she goes to the moon.
Right.
And she befriends Galactus instead.
So she kills him with kindness.
No, she just sends him off to eat another planet.
Right.
It's devoid of intelligent life, but rich in nuts. Which Galactus has developed a liking for at this point after befriending Squirrel Girl.
Right.
She's a very, very light-hearted character. Yeah. So yeah, what we have said, as we said, her powers, and we'll go a little more into them, and then we'll kind of get into the main meat of the episode, is how we'd want to see her in the MCU.
Yep.
So she does have a furry prehensile tail. She does have buck teeth, but they have kind of reduced her buck teeth a little bit in later ones. She has sharp claws and the retractable knuckle spikes, which are about 2 to 3 inches long. Wow! I want knuckle spikes. Yeah. Yeah. She doesn't telepathically communicate with squirrels. She has the ability to understand squirrel language, and can speak it as well. But squirrels can also understand her when she speaks English.
So, like, different from the ants with Ant-Man.
Yeah, it's more that she literally speaks squirrel.
Yeah.
She calls her version of spider sense, which is her heightened reflexes. She has her heightened reflexes, agility. She calls it squirrel agility.
That's adorable.
Her eyes do glow red in low light situations because she has low light vision.
Cool.
She also reveals that her lips taste like hazelnuts.
Nice.
But that has been retconned since. She did take down Wolverine in a 1-to-1 no claws fight. At one point.
Amazing.
She has a utility belt which has multiple pouches of nuts, mainly for her squirrel friends.
So she just carries nuts.
She's known she humorously knows them as her nut sacks.
No, I'm out. Nut sacks.
She does have black markings around her eyes, which people are like, oh, it's a squirrel thing. No, that's makeup to make her look more like a squirrel that she puts on herself because it smudges when she cries.
Bless her.
She does carry a full set of Iron Man trading cards.
Of course she does.
And at one point, uses them to explain to a bad guy why she knows him.
Yep. I love her.
And she occasionally uses the card to confirm a supervillain's abilities when they are pointed out to him.
Fair.
She has in her solo series, The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. She also does have a set of Deadpool's Guide to Supervillain cards, which are Deadpool's version of the cards, which also have their possible weaknesses written on them. And yeah, so she is fucking adorable.
I love her.
As we said, Doctor Doom, the major Fantastic Four villain, her first victory as a superhero was beating Doctor Doom.
She's awesome.
And has beaten Deadpool, MODOK, Wolverine. They're all shown in the fight. She in the comics she took down By Beast. She has defeated Thanos.
What?
At one point, she fought Thanos. Because there's this group called the Watchers, which are these universal observers, and one of them was present at the battle, I think in Infinity War, between Thanos and at Squirrel Girl. And Uatu the Watcher claims that Squirrel Girl defeated the genuine Thanos and not a clone or a copy, but Thanos has since claimed that he can create perfect clones of himself that could not be distinguished from him.
Right.
However, I think it is safe to say that Squirrel Girl has beaten Thanos.
Yeah.
She does appear in Marvel Zombies. There is Zombie Squirrel Girl. She is in Avengers vs. X-Men. She's in Marvel Universe vs. Avengers. But she's killed in Marvel Universe vs. the Avengers by Luke Cage. But that's one of those really dark, super unnecessary.
Right.
That's the one where there's a murder virus that infects people. She briefly cameos in various animated Marvel shows.
Mm-hmm.
She is a playable character in Lego Marvel Superheroes, voiced by the wonderful Tara Strong. And yeah, so she is just an absolute joy.
I love her.
I first kind of came acquainted with her because there's a wonderful cosplayer called Riddle. Her actual name is Ricky Latoy. And she does, like, her big thing is Squirrel Girl cosplay, so go check her out. It's Riddle, but it's a 1 instead of an L. But so when we were discussing our Marvel podcast a few weeks back, we kind of went off track and were like, because our point was that Marvel needs to bring new and slightly more obscure heroes to keep things fresh. So for the rest of this podcast, we're gonna talk about our kind of ideal Squirrel Girl movie.
We're gonna pitch it.
So get your pens ready, Marvel Studios, because here comes some free knowledge.
Indeed.
So, who are we going to get to play Squirrel Girl?
We were thinking Natalia Dyer.
For people who don't know who Natalia Dyer is, she plays Nancy Wheeler in Stranger Things.
Yep.
That's the older sister of main character Mike Wheeler. She's Steve's girlfriend.
Of Jonathan.
She's with... I haven't actually watched season 2 of Stranger Things.
So she's with Steve.
But Steve.
I love Steve.
Yeah, I love Steve too.
Back to Squirrel Girl.
So we were thinking just finishing college, Squirrel Girl, so a 21-year-old Squirrel Girl, in NYC, where she's best known. And so what are we going to do plot-wise?
I don't know plot-wise. What?
So I definitely think maybe doing the Kraven the Hunter plotline.
That would be cool.
Because Kraven is a fantastic villain. He hasn't made many appearances in the MCU.
No.
He isn't really kind of... Because I don't think he's quite associated with a lot of the MCU people we've had so far.
Yeah.
So essentially...
So we could bring in, like, a cool new villain.
Yeah, a new threat to New York City, but like especially just to the Central Park area. And so it'd definitely be stuff is going on in the park, missing people and...
Yeah. The squirrels are unhappy.
The squirrels are unhappy, some of them being injured, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And of course, because it's not very much, and it's like the Avengers, it's too small for the Avengers.
Yeah.
However, you've got this
Squirrel Girl.
This graduate college student, like, working at a data tech firm with her major in computer science, being a Squirrel Girl.
Yep.
And I think that'd be great, and you could have a fantastic kind of build up to this
big fight.
Of course, but she'd already be Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
Like, we wouldn't have the whole picking out the outfit and stuff. No, she'd already be Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
So it'd be Homecoming.
Yeah.
Peter Parker is already Spider-Man. By the time we meet them in the film. And I say go with Kraven the Hunter, kind of stalking through Central Park. But what is kind of what's our big romantic plotline? What's our big romantic twist?
Squirrel Girl, gay AF.
Squirrel Girl is gay AF. bringing some much needed LGBT diversity to the MCU. I think she doesn't have any romantic ties in the comics. She does have a crush on Speedball from the New Warriors. But I don't like that every young female superhero has a crush on a young male superhero.
Yeah.
Because we saw it with Starfire and Robin, and Batgirl and Robin.
Yeah, it's kind of like time for something new.
Yeah, and we're not going down the WLW shipping it because we're shipping it. No, we want to show that superheroes can be gay, because I think there is kind of a how everyone sees themselves as a superhero, and that's the empowering thing about superhero comics.
Yeah,
I think the problem is that I don't think superheroes can be seen to be gay.
Yeah, it's an issue. It's an issue, especially like within the MCU, because we've had 18 films now, and there's
not even been a hint of someone being gay.
There is no LGBT rep at all. And it is a void.
And it is objectionable that when people apply it to Bucky and Steve.
Yeah.
Because it's like, no, that's... Sure, have your gay headcanon. But... And, we're not going to take that away from you.
But they're not canon.
But they're not... That's just you. You've made it gay.
Like, I wish they were, because that would be amazing.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Exactly.
And it's like, you kind of have to get over it at this stage, that they're just not.
Yeah.
So it'd be awesome to have some, especially I think because like white gay men they don't have enough. They have more than lesbians.
Yeah.
So if you have like an explicitly lesbian superhero, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So.
And, I definitely think that's it. And it is, and I think it is that, and you don't see lesbian relationships. You don't see, as often as you do see gay relationships, because, there's the gay couple on Modern Family. There was, Will and Grace with, a very openly gay character.
Mm-hmm.
And that was long ago. It's like Queer Eye, that new show that show that's been brought back on Netflix is like, exclusively,
gay men have stuff.
Yeah, and we don't want to. We're not saying
that they have enough.
And we're not saying that. Hey, now it's time for the women gays to have something. It's just like we want to see diversity.
Yeah.
And we want to show... And also, I think we want to show that... I think we want to have people who... it's like... Look, we can write a normal, cute, gay relationship.
Yeah, because a lot of the lesbian relationships that you see on TV... I'm going to bring up the 100 now... It ends badly.
Yeah, there's definitely bury your gays.
Like, why can't we have this really cute family-friendly movie with this really cute relationship?
Yeah, and I also think it's annoying that also lesbian relationships are also super sexual when they're around as well.
Yeah.
A lot more than gay male relationships are in television and film.
Definitely.
But yeah, so if we had to back it down, Squirrel Girl can be bi. Like, we wouldn't want to back down on it, but if we had to get the film made,
then Squirrel Girl
would be bi.
Would not be straight.
Yeah, that the end of the argument is going to be Squirrel Girl is not going to appear straight in this. And her partner of choice will be a woman.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing I don't like. I know we could get into this in a whole different podcast, but I always find that if a character is bisexual, they more than often end up with someone of the opposite sex.
Yep. It's like, well, now you're just saying that.
With the exception of Rosa Diaz.
Yes.
Who has been who has now been paired with a female partner. But yeah, so it would be this kind of... It's kind of like what Supergirl is. The kind of cute... She's trying to make a life for herself, but also be a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'd just be a nice breath of fresh air for the MCU.
Yeah, it would just be like a cute.
She's an inherently funny character, and in our dream, it would be Patty Jenkins, Natalie Portman directing. Don't know who we'd have to write the thing.
Just gotta like thinking of female writers is horribly hard.
If someone listening to this wants to write our script for us, go for it. You have complete carte blanche on what you want to do, as long as she's not straight.
And with the Craven Hunter.
And with we prefer if you had Craven as the bad guy. But no, and we also wanted because Squirrel Girl's mum does play a fairly substantial part in her life.
Yes.
I was thinking Alison Brie, who has come into quite a lot of these adult series roles in recent years, because I think a lot of people know her as Annie Edison from Community, where she kind of plays the slightly sexually repressed straight A student.
Mm-hmm.
But she does a fantastic kind of slightly on the edge of insanity portrayal in Glow, and I think she'd be great for kind of the single mom who knows about her daughter, because you can't not know about your daughter having
a squirrel tail
and being able to talk to squirrels. However, yeah, so I think having that nice other dynamic, so not just the only other woman she responds to is this romantic partner, but also
her mum is a huge part.
Her mum, yeah. And I think the important thing of having a romantic, because some people might be asking, but why do we need a romantic subplot? And we've explained why, because we do need to show, gay people are human and are capable of having normal relationships. But also because I always find that superhero relationships are really shitty.
Yeah.
They're always super awkward, and it's all every superhero relationship was written by a writer from the 1980s.
Yeah, pretty much.
And even Peter Parker's one was kind of a bit. He's just kind of mooning over her, and it's
a bit
awkward. Oh no, she likes him too. Oh, is she pitying him?
Yeah.
Especially because he treats her like shit. Just with, oh yeah, I'll totally be on your academic decathlon team. Lol, didn't show up, and
yeah, it's like he's just not. He doesn't treat her very well.
No, and he also kind of sends her dad to prison.
Yep.
And then doesn't tell her that he sent her dad to prison. Because she's just like, oh, Peter, I can't be in this relationship because I'm moving to Los Angeles with my mum because dad's in prison for being a terrorist.
Yay.
But no, so simply put, we would love to see an LGBT positive, light-hearted Squirrel Girl movie that doesn't even have to tie into the MCU. I don't really want it to tie into the MCU.
No, it can be standalone.
Yeah. I have a question about Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
In Civil War, did they actually pass the Registration Act?
Don't think so.
Because that's kind of weird, that the whole thing that's... No, because they changed it to be about the Sokovia Accords, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of shitty. Because the other one you could have done is if there was a team-up between Fox... Wait, no...
No, it's the Sokovia Accords. And stuff.
No, but they don't need to worry about... They never need to worry about using Fox properties anymore. because Disney owns Fox and Marvel.
Yeah.
So
we can have Deadpool.
So you don't need to ever worry about crossovers now because you're owned by the same people.
Yeah.
So the other plot line we could do.
Lol, let's get Deadpool in it. And
Yeah,
have him not be able to swear. And have him know that he's not able to swear.
Yeah, exactly.
And just have him getting really frustrated, like every time he goes to swear, like a truck passes in front of him.
No. This is a Deadpool movie. It's a straight up bleep. It's not even the shitty like a loud sound goes. It just bleeps.
Yeah.
And she's just like, oh my god! And so she's great plot for a scene. If Deadpool and Squirrel Girl fight Kraven the Hunter, is the new plot.
But Squirrel Girl is the main character.
Yeah, no. Deadpool is the sidekick, and he also knows he's the sidekick.
Deadpool's a sidekick, and like he keeps making references to being the sidekick.
He keeps referring to himself as the Cameron.
Yeah.
No, and of course, so yeah, Squirrel Girl and her sidekick Deadpool.
Yeah.
Team up to fight Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah.
So here's a pitch for a scene. It's when Deadpool realizes that it's a family it's a PG-13 film.
Go on.
So he says fuck once.
Yeah.
In the film, but he uses it in his like first line.
No, poor Deadpool.
So, but he doesn't realize because he thinks it's a Deadpool film at the beginning.
Have you got a fucking tail?
Yeah, it's like, hey kid, first question, fuck is with the tail.
Yeah.
I mean, is it a bleep?
And then he just stops. And it's just silence.
Oh my god, is it a bleep bleep plug? Are you onto a bleep convention? And then he then realizes he's in a PG-13 film. He makes a comment that he's used the film's only F-bomb. And then he goes on a bleeping rampage, which is a full 2 minutes. Except, you know that piece of music, like, do 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 do.
Oh my god, yes.
So it's that. So you're hearing the bleeping, but the bleeping fades away, and that starts to play with the whole choral bit to it, and it zooms in on Squirrel Girl, who's looking up at Deadpool because she's shorter than him. Her eyes like wide and like adoring, and you can just hear this music like swelling as she's like stares at Deadpool, and he's going like fucking nuts, and his mouth is like pixelated,
even though he's in the mask, so you can't see his mouth.
The part of his mouth, and it just swells and swells and swells, and he takes a quick pause for breath, and she's just like, I have a problem. Do you want to come help me? And he's like, do I? Beep! Wanna beep in to help you. And then they become firm friends.
Yeah.
So Ryan Reynolds, give me a call. We will get you. Also, I do want to mention Ryan Reynolds is playing Detective Pikachu in the live-action Detective Pikachu film. I need as many F-bombs from Detective Pikachu as I possibly can get.
Just turn Detective Pikachu into, like, Deadpool.
Well, no, because someone has done that, where they've taken the Pikachu model and they've put it in a Deadpool costume. It's really cute.
Amazing.
But I want Pikachu to walk into, like, a crime scene as a dead body. He's just like, this is a fucking mess, isn't it?
Just
on my fucking day off.
Pikachu's just so fucking done.
But, yeah, so, new parts of, and I'm very glad that we now brought this up. It's a Squirrel Girl movie with Deadpool as the sidekick.
Yeah.
Deadpool is... Oh, and he's making all his fourth wall jokes. But Squirrel Girl has a new power. She can hear him make his fourth wall jokes. Because he does the Ferris Bueller thing where he breaks the fourth wall, but no one else realises it. So she could hear his fourth wall jokes, but she doesn't know that they're to the fourth wall. So he's making all his fourth wall jokes, and she's just like, who are you talking to?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Why do you keep saying this?
Like, what are you talking about? There's no one. Are you?
Or,
there's no camera.
Well, it's that thing where he cuts the camera. Like, he realizes it's the sidekick, and he's like, because the camera keeps focusing on Squirrel Girl, and he's like, no, I'm over here. I'm bleeping over here. And the camera keeps the camera even at one point shakes its head and focuses on Squirrel Girl, and then he's like wait, and do 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 do, the sad violin music begins, and he's like, wait, the camera's not focused on me.
Am I the sidekick?
Am I the sidekick? And he turns his face like in a French avant-garde movie to the camera. And then Squirrel Girl's face leans into the side of the shot, and she frowns.
And she's like, "Who are you talking to?
Who are you looking at?" Oh no, she comes into the side of the camera. She's frowning. She kind of looks at Deadpool, and then the camera turns around, and there's an elderly Chinese gentleman eating an apple on a bench. She's just like, Do you know him? And the guy's looks around and he's just waving at them. She's just like, no, hello sir, hi.
Just ignore, and then she pushes Deadpool out of shot, bye.
The camera slowly slides Deadpool out. Oh my god, no! So she looks at him and then does the whole Chinese gentleman thing, and then it cuts back to him and he's still in his French avant-garde shot. So this camera slowly pans him out of shot.
This keeps happening the entire time in the movie. Deadpool just keeps getting edged out of shot.
Oh, the fight scene with Craven, the first encounter when they kind of get their asses kicked. And it's a beautifully choreographed fight scene. We're not going to do the jump cuts and stuff. And Deadpool's like, yeah, I landed a good 5-10 blows on that guy. She's like, I didn't see him. It's like, wait, was I not shown on the... Was my fighting not shown on the camera?
Nope.
She's just every time he does it, she now slaps him.
Yeah.
But of course, we'd be very careful not to make Deadpool the hero by accident.
No, he's literally the comic relief.
He is the comedic sidekick.
Yeah.
And he consistently refers to himself as the Cameron.
Yeah.
To the point where they
third wheels.
They track. Yes. No. He does not third wheel. He becomes her overprotective dad.
Yes.
To the point where
They go on a date to a coffee shop, and she doesn't notice that Deadpool's there at first. But then she looks behind her, and she sees him sitting in the really stereotypical wide brimmed hat and trench coat, but in full costume.
Yeah, but they're in a nice restaurant.
Yeah.
No, they're in a coffee shop, and he's got an unbroken line of sight on her date.
Yeah.
And he's sipping coffee, but with his mask down, so he just keeps staining. So coffee just keeps dribbling down his chin. She's just I'm really sorry about him. But then at one point where her date comes to pick her up, and Deadpool has come over to was oh, I found some stuff. I beat the shit out of one of his cronies, so I found where he is.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's a young lady at the door. Yeah, that's my date. Give me one moment. And so he opens the door to the date, and the date's waiting there. Date to be cast.
Yeah.
But it's quite hard to find young actresses.
I actually found a really good list.
So the date opens the door, and Deadpool is stood there in a tweed jacket with a bristly white mustache, and he's he's adopted a terrible British accent. He's like, "Ah, yes, hello, I am Doreen's father. It is a pleasure to meet you. Yes, haha, smashing." But yeah, so
that's now a thing.
We have now pitched a Squirrel Girl meets Deadpool movie, thanks to the fact that Disney now owns both properties, fighting Kraven the Hunter in New York City. And again, there will be no Avengers in this.
No.
There won't even be a Peter Parker cameo.
I would like to pitch for her girlfriend.
Is it your housemate Jodie?
No.
Who are you pitching for the girlfriend of Squirrel Girl? Okay, so who are you casting for the girlfriend?
India Skandrick.
What has she been in?
She is a Broadway actress.
Mm-hmm.
She played young Nala in The Lion King, which I think is pretty cool. She hasn't really done too much.
How old is she?
She was born in 94.
Okay. So she'd be a wee bit older than...
Yeah, but they could have met
Yeah,
at
yeah.
work
No,
or coffee shop.
or at college, because 4 years of college.
Yeah.
No,
and
that's
she is African American, which I think is good.
Yeah.
Which would be...
I mean, that would represent the diversity of New York City.
Exactly, like...
Especially because we have cast quite a white person to play.
Natalia Dyer is quite white, so having someone who isn't is probably...
Yeah, and it brings that diversity.
And it's quite nice.
Or we could... No, actually, scratch that. Never mind.
And she's really pretty.
Oh, yeah. No, that would be nice. And yeah, so that's a good choice. And yeah, and you know, it's a nice kind of... I think it'd be a nice jumping on point for her if she's not done too much film-wise.
Yeah, like a kind of low-key, but also high-key.
This is going to be the most indie MCU film to feature Deadpool.
Yeah.
This is Deadpool, the indie film.
Yeah. But not Deadpool, the indie film.
Squirrel Girl, the indie film featuring Deadpool.
Yeah. Like, I think it would just be quite a chill
Definitely.
film. Quite nice. Harmless. With lots of rep.
With lots of what?
Rep.
And lots of pep as well.
And lots of pep.
Lots of pep and lots of rap.
What more do you want?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that is going to be it for the Squirrel Girl casting and whatnot.
Yeah. We will come back with news of script.
Yeah, we'll let you know when Ryan Reynolds gets back to us.
And when Stanley, confirms.
Yeah, we might just like tag people in the we might just tag people in the press junket for this.
Yeah, like we're just gonna tag everyone, see what they say, just wait and see.
And so yeah, script is obviously going to be written by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh, sorry, I just died.
And so...
Yeah, the script is going to be written by Lynn. The music's going to be written by Alex Lacombe.
No, we're going to use licensed music for this. As much as we can. Well, he can do the instrumental score then. He can do the Squirrel Girl theme.
Yeah.
But we're going to use those shit ton of licensed music.
Yeah, that's true.
So tell us what you think about our casting choices.
Yeah.
If your name is Natalia Dyer, let us know if you would want to play Squirrel Girl. Patty Jenkins, let us know if you want to direct Squirrel Girl. Lynn, you know how to find me if you want to write Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so tell us what you think. Are we crazy? Are you gonna shout abuse at us on the internet? But no, please follow us on. So let us know what you think, and please follow us on Tumblr, YouTube, and Twitch at Silver Crow Media. Follow us on Twitter at Silver Crow Inc. We have other episodes of I Digress on a variety of topics. We have Wasted Potential, the Drunk Advice podcast. We have On a Roll, which is our D&D podcast. We have many, many other products in the works. Thank you very much for listening, and tell your friends about this. And I have been Ben Mark.
And I have been Alex.
And we will see you adieu.